Roman Reigns suffers his first pinfall loss since 2019 at Money in the Bank as he and Solo Sikoa are defeated by his cousins, the Usos. Triple H opens up on LA Knight not winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match last night too. Damian Priest was the winner of that match and he's commented when he could cash in and if Bad Bunny could join the Judgment Day. Seth freaking Rollins retains the World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Finn Balor after a accidental interference from the aforementioned Damian Priest. Cody Rhodes has opened up if winning the World Heavyweight Championship would finish his story. He says no. Io Sky is Miss Money in the Bank after winning the Money in the Bank ladder match too. Logan Paul shows off the bumps and bruises after participating in the men's ladder match last night. Shayna Baszler shockingly turns on Ronda Rousey. Drew McIntyre breaks his silence after making his return to WWE last night at Money in the Bank, and Triple H provides an update on NXT Europe. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. And big up Just Josh Media for providing that new intro that you just saw there. Just the first of many cosmetic tweaks and changes coming to the channel. We're upgrading very soon, so if you like that kind of stuff, shout out to Just Josh. And also let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's talk about Roman Reigns being pinned for the first time in over 3 years. Yes, Roman Reigns has officially suffered his first pinfall loss since 2019 at the hands of Jey Uso. In a climactic showdown in the main event of Money in the Bank, pitting Jey and Jimmy Uso against Reigns and Solo Sikoa, the Usos prevailed and handed Reigns a monumental loss. Of course, Reigns was last pinned by none other than Baron Corbin at the Tables, Ladders and Chairs Premium Live event in December of 2019. The pinfall loss marks a huge turning point in Reigns' run as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, with no one having been able to pin or submit Reigns in over 3 years. Reigns has lost in other tag matches since being pinned by Corbin in 2019, but he has never been the one to be pinned. There's also significance to Jey being the man to pin Reigns, as he was the first victim of the Tribal Chief in 2020, which led into the formation and beginning of this entire Bloodline storyline and saga. The pinfall loss will lead into next month's WWE Premium Live event SummerSlam, where Reigns is sure to defend the title for the first time since defeating Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 39. It could be in the cards that Jey and Reigns are due to go back to the beginning of the Bloodline saga at SummerSlam and square off for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. What did you think of the match? What did you think of the pinfall defeat? What did you think of all of it? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Now, one of the biggest talking points coming out of Money in the Bank last night was LA Knight not winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, LA Knight obviously was a big favorite and a big hope of many that he would win the match, and Triple H has addressed the fact that the sentimental favorite LA Knight did not win last night's men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, the honor instead went to Damian Priest, who later came out with his briefcase and accidentally cost Finn Balor his World Heavyweight Championship match against Seth Rollins. During the post-show press conference on the WWE Network, Triple H spoke about the fact that LA Knight didn't win by saying, quote, "I know LA Knight was a massive favorite, continuing that ascent. Great things come to those who wait, and that rise is just getting started." Knight's popularity has picked up over the past few months, and it was no different in England this weekend, but unfortunately, he didn't get the victory or the briefcase. What are your thoughts on that, and what are your thoughts on Triple H's comments regarding the megastar not winning the briefcase in London? Now, the person who did win the briefcase, of course, was Judgment Day member Damian Priest. Since its adoption as an annual premium live event in 2010, Money in the Bank has matured into one of the premier shows on the WWE calendar, becoming, in the eyes of some, worthy of mention alongside WWE's traditional Big Four events. Capturing the Money in the Bank briefcase can lead to new heights for one's career, although notably, it sometimes felt like a curse for some recent winners. Either way, fans came into Saturday ready to see who climbed the ladder to victory this year. 7 men took part in the 2023 men's Money in the Bank ladder match, including Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, the Judgment Day's Damian Priest, the Brawling Brutes Butch, the LWO Santos Escobar, LA Knight, and Logan Paul. of the field, Knight headed into the show as the clear crowd favourite, with Paul and Priest also generally favoured as the other two realistic options to win. In the end, it was Priest who emerged victorious, slamming LA Knight off the ladder with a broken arrow and then claiming the briefcase. There will undoubtedly be many people upset that the hugely popular Knight did not win, but it's easy to argue that he doesn't need the briefcase and will likely organically receive a world title shot sooner rather than later. At least that's what some people are saying. As mentioned, being Mr. Money in the Bank hasn't been a blessing for a wrestler who's held it either. In a few months, fans may see that Knight could have dodged a bullet. In the meantime, Priest looks set to ascend, possibly to a World Championship opportunity or a US or Intercontinental Championship opportunity too. Our post-show press conferences and media scrums have recently become known for wrestlers receiving some off-the-wall questions. The post-Money in the Bank press conference saw Senior Money in the Bank Damian Priest also receive an interesting question. At the conference, Priest was asked if we could ever see Bad Bunny come back and if he could ever join Priest in the Judgment Day. Quote, "Do we really got to talk about this guy right now?" Priest asked. He continued, "Who let this guy in? Look, that's not a question for me. If Bad Bunny's going to come back, I don't know. That's a question for him. As far as joining the Judgment Day, you have a better shot at joining the Judgment Day, which means 0 chance." Priest's response aside, it was recently teased that the Judgment Day may receive a new member soon, although certainly it's not going to be Bad Bunny. With potential strife now existing between Priest and the Judgment Day leader Finn Balor after Money in the Bank, it's possible one of the two men could be out and replaced by someone else. Now, Priest said there was no tension, and no tension existed in the Judgment Day. The end of Balor's match with World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins certainly tells a different story. At the end of the match, Priest emerged with his freshly won Money in the Bank briefcase, causing a distraction to Rollins. While Balor capitalized on the distraction, Priest's presence soon became a diversion for Balor and arguably cost him the match. So it'll be interesting to see, as I mentioned, where this one does go next. Speaking of that World Heavyweight Championship match, as I mentioned, Seth Rollins successfully defended and retained the World Heavyweight Championship last night at Money in the Bank. While the reintroduced WWE World Heavyweight Championship has already been contested in multiple championship matches since its revival, Saturday saw reigning champion Seth freaking Rollins successfully defend the title for the first time at a premium live event. The highly decorated WWE star defeated Finn Balor in the semi-main event of Money in the Bank, of course being a rematch of their Universal Championship match from SummerSlam in 2016. Balor's loss at Money in the Bank didn't come without a bit of controversy. However, Balor's Judgment Day cohort and the new Senior Money in the Bank Damian Priest made an appearance at ringside in the match, as I mentioned, inadvertently costing Balor the match, maybe leading to more turmoil among two of the Judgment Day's 4 members. This match marks Rollins' third televised defense of the World Heavyweight Championship since winning the title at Night of Champions in 2023, obviously in a bout against AJ Styles. Now, speaking of Seth Rollins too, he has spoken at the Money in the Bank press conference, and in the post-Money in the Bank press conference, Seth Rollins named 2 NXT stars that he thought were standouts in the company right now. After having recently appeared on the brand in the big match against Bron Breakker, Seth Rollins was asked about who he felt was a standout name, or certainly standout names, from NXT. Rollins named NXT champion Carmelo Hayes, who he has recently been interacting with on screen during recent weeks of crossover appearances, as well as another current champion. NXT Heritage Cup champion Nathan Frazer, who was notably trained and mentored by Rollins, was his other selection. Noting that Frazer would like to give him a hard time if he didn't take the opportunity to give him the rub, Rollins described Frazer's recent match against Dragon Lee for the aforementioned NXT Heritage Cup as having been a standout performance. So certainly Rollins saying that there's plenty of big names currently, or big future names in NXT right now. Cody Rhodes obviously defeated Dominic Mysterio last night at Money in the Bank, but what's quite interesting, and I think is getting more headlines, is his comments in the post-show press conference. Of course, finish the story. That's been the phrase trailing Cody Rhodes since his return and victory at the Royal Rumble in January of this year. Although Rhodes went on to lose to undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, the phrase has persisted. When the World Heavyweight Championship was unveiled recently, many thought it would be unwise for Rhodes to win that particular WWE title. At the post-Money in the Bank press conference, Rhodes addressed the title and its place in, quote, the story. Quote, "I don't want to be a downer, but no, Now, winning the World Heavyweight Championship would be outstanding. It would be amazing. It is the title on the flagship show, Monday Night Raw. It absolutely matters. It is important, Rhodes said, adding what Seth is doing with it is a special thing. And what you're going to see is that title will mean far more than in 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. Every second it gains equity. But finishing the story was always about the title my dad didn't get. The oft-remembered fact since Rhodes returned to WWE is that his late great father, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, never won WWE's top prize. Although Rhodes won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, a title his father did hold, for Rhodes it's about bringing home that one accomplishment his father never did. You'll probably hear some news about my documentary at some point soon, finally, because those people have been filming me for gosh knows how long, and it covered a lot in there as far as what that story was. He said, adding, he really did hold it, he held it in the garden, it ate me up that he never got it, so that's finishing the story. The World Heavyweight Championship is a whole nother story. It is, and again, very special. The main title on Monday Night Raw. I don't look down on it in any way. So what do you think about Rhodes' comments about the World Heavyweight Championship? Did he put down the world title despite saying that he didn't? Is it just about one specific title? Has it lessened the World Heavyweight Championship in your eyes? Let me know your thoughts about his comments in the comment section below. Now, he also spoke about a variety of other topics. In the midst of the Money in the Bank Premium Live event, John Cena made a surprise appearance to verbally spar with Grayson Waller and to tease a possible future WrestleMania in London. The possibility raised many eyebrows, and it was naturally the first question asked at the post-show press conference. The recipient of that question was none other than the American Nightmare himself. Quote, I mean, John is dead on, in the sense that name a market and a place that deserves it more. Listen, there's so many potential markets. I still sometimes like to try and put my business hats, and you look at all of these different places, he said, adding quotes, not saying these things might have been fabricated, but back in the day, you'd hear people making bids on shows. I don't know if there were any bids on shows, whereas today, it's really happening. If you look at these Econ Impact reports like WrestleMania 39, my gosh, WWE has been expanding its international presence of late, including the past 3 consecutive premium live events being held overseas. May's Backlash and Night of Champion events were held in Puerto Rico and Saudi Arabia, respectively. Obviously, yesterday's Money in the Bank was held in London to cap off the 3 consecutive event stint. Although the United Kingdom was home to last year's stadium show Clash at the Castle, a WrestleMania in London would mark a first in many aspects and respects for WWE. London for WrestleMania would be amazing. It really, really, really would. It would be a very special thing. There's a lot of good places, but it would be special. I don't know if John knew something I didn't know about, he said. Rhodes added that he thought Cena was about to say it's happening. He's the man, so John can say what he wants. Again, though, he might know something we all don't know, so I hope it does happen for London. That would be very special. I'd be all about it. So Rhodes not really confirming whether or not it's going to be happening, but do you think that WrestleMania could be going to London? Triple H did kind of back off it a little bit in the post-show press conference. Was it just John Cena being able to say things because he's John Cena? What were your thoughts on it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Io Sky is Miss Money in the Bank after winning the titular ladder match last night at Money in the Bank. Less than 12 months after her main roster debut at SummerSlam last year, Io Sky claimed her first singles accolade on the main roster on Saturday by winning the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match in London, England. Sky has become one of the breakout stars of WWE's women's division in recent months, with her loss to Bianca Belair at Backlash in Puerto Rico a few months ago, seeing the Damage Control member getting one of the loudest reactions of the entire event. In her first ever Money in the Bank ladder match appearance, Sky's partnership with fellow Damage Control member Bayley was tested greatly and could be coming to a bitter end as a result. The Damage Control leader nearly cost Io the match when Bayley knocked her partner off a ladder and attempted to win the match herself after cooperating with her in the opening stages of the match. Sky got retribution on her partner, however, handcuffing the former women's champion and Becky Lynch together through the rungs of the ladder to claim the briefcase as her adversaries struggle mere feet below her. Beyond her first major singles accomplishment on the main roster, the Money in the Bank 2023 victory also marks Io's first win on a premium live event since last November, when she and Dakota Kai won the Women's Tag Team Championships from Asuka and Alexa Bliss at Crown Jewel 2022. Now, Io Sky has since reacted to winning the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. After her victory, Sky took to Twitter to share a photo of the briefcase along with a pretty simple caption of, "Yeah!" Now, obviously, it wasn't the yeah maybe that some people were looking for regarding a Money in the Bank briefcase, but Io Sky certainly many people very, very happy that she indeed won the match. Logan Paul was in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and he showed off some pretty significant injuries that he suffered at Money in the Bank. Thankfully, he's okay. Social media star and current WWE superstar Logan Paul had an exciting Saturday. He was part of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match in London. After the match, Paul took to Twitter to show off his gruesome battle scars, as can be seen on the screen. Paul captioned the photo of his bloody, bruised and scratched up back with, "I like this sport." During the match, Paul found himself crashing through 2 tables due to Ricochet hitting a Spanish fly off the ropes. Before that happened, both Paul and Ricochet had been on the top of the ladder vying for the briefcase. Paul made his WWE return on the June 19 edition of Raw, and on that same night, he shockingly announced that he was going to be in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Before Saturday's match, Paul's last WWE in-ring match was at WrestleMania 39, where he faced current World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. In the end, as I mentioned, it was Judgment Day member Damian Priest who eventually won that match. It's going to be interesting to see certainly what Logan Paul does next as his WWE in-ring career continues. Now, a shocking moment happened in the women's tag team title match last night at Money in the Bank as Shayna Baszler turned her back and attacked her former best friend Ronda Rousey. The women's tag team championships continue to live up to their reputation of being the most chaotic titles currently in the company as they changed hands yet again at the Money in the Bank event. This time, Shayna Baszler shocked the world when she turned on her friend and partner Ronda Rousey mid-match, attacking her fellow champion and allowing Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to reclaim the titles they were forced to vacate just last month. But the betrayal came after years of Baszler and Rousey being synonymous with one another. At one point they were christened the Four Horsewomen of MMA in the mid-2010s. The pair first reunited as a tag team last summer following Rousey's heel turn upon her loss to Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. Since then, they have found repeated success, winning the vacant women's tag team titles in late May, successfully unifying them with the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships 1 month later. After this new development, one would expect a singles feud between them to be happening next, but it depends what Rousey's schedule is, of course. Now, Triple H said in the post-show press conference regarding this turn, quote, "Shayna Baszler, I don't know what that's all about, we'll get to the bottom of it." Finally, Baszler has weighed in herself, well, sort of, taking to Twitter after her segment with Rousey. Baszler writes, quote, "Let the galaxy burn." Now, again, what she means by that, we'll have to wait and see. So certainly it could be building, one would think, to a big singles match between the two at some point in the near future. Now, Drew McIntyre also made his return to WWE TV last night at Money in the Bank, and he's finally broken his silence, taking to Twitter to share a succinct message. McIntyre writes, quote, "I've been counting down the days, hashtag Money in the Bank." Now, Triple H was also asked about McIntyre's status with WWE during the press conference after Money in the Bank. Triple H denied the rumors that Drew McIntyre was absent from WWE due to issues with creative, something multiple outlets reported in May. Instead, Triple H said McIntyre was actually out due to injury. He said, quote, "It's also a funny thing. The amount of speculation that happens around things. I read stuff all the time that's printed and put out there. Sources say 75% of it is completely off base. If Drew had an issue, it's news to me. He was out with an injury and getting stuff fixed. While he was out, he had something else to get fixed, so he did it. And here he is. He's an amazing performer. He's one of the highlighted superstars in this era. Thrilled to have him back, and hopefully he's here for the rest of his career." So Triple H suggesting that there's no issues currently with creative, but not going as far as to deny that his contract is set to expire later on this year, and the two sides haven't come to an agreement just yet. Finally, while speaking at the post-show press conference, Triple H was asked about NXT Europe. Last year, NXT UK brand, it came to an end, of course, just shy of having existed for 4 years. In its stead, fans were told to expect a new NXT Europe, which would be coming to fruition at some point in 2023. Of course, we're over halfway through the year at this point. So, at the post-Money in the Bank press conference, WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque was asked for an update on the brand, and more specifically, if a delay had happened due to the ongoing WWE and UFC merger. Quote, "It just slowed down the process, I think. At some point, end of the year, last year, whatever it was, we said in 23 it would happen." Not having a crystal ball to see where everything was headed in that moment in time. Obviously, this transition with this merger with UFC, with Endeavor and TKO, it changed the time frame. But I think the intent is still the same, Levesque said. He added, "I mentioned under the premise of WrestleMania and premium live events going global, we're a global company. We're looking to be everywhere, and I think there are a lot of amazing talents here internationally, and we'd love to explore that and give them opportunities to shine on the biggest stage possible and see what we can do with that. It's just going to take a little bit of time." The answer from Levesque made allusion to the comments he made earlier on in the conference about a possible WrestleMania in London and further speculation on any kind of premium live event coming back to the United Kingdom within the next year. His comments about WWE being a global company also line up with comments from WWE CEO Nick Khan. Khan mentioned recently that talks are already underway to hold some premium live events overseas in 2024. This would follow up on successful 3 premium live event run that WWE's just had in Puerto Rico, Saudi Arabia, and finally London last night. So there you go, guys. That's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.